Actually, I have a question because some of us didn't realize that there is a catalog, but we were here.
I'm so sorry, but I couldn't hear you properly. Can you?
Yes, so the problem is that we didn't realize earlier that there is a catalog, but we were here in the earlier lessons, but we didn't write or we didn't sign the catalog.
The catalog, you mean this?
Yes.
It doesn't matter because Kata has been doing it. But today, because Kata is not here and I don't know the names, so I just ask for you, you do it.
Okay, so do you mean that she just realized that we are here and she just wrote down our names?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Thank you.
It's just to fill it. So, Yonapot, welcome. Today, I'm going to be your teacher. I'm going to give the class. My name is Shankari. I was a student, well, I do my bachelor in journalism, specialized in visual communication. And after I was in fine arts. And at the end, I decided to make my master in philosophy. The name is Applied Yoga Techniques for Psychological Counseling. So today we are going to follow with the teachings that the Mr. Javier has been giving to us, and then we're going to go ahead so we can describe. There are some more practical aspects, so we can discuss, and after, if you want, we can make questions. If you have any question from previous class or about what we are talking today. So please, those who has just arrived, fill also the names so they can complete the. Yeah. So in previous class, we have been discussing about what is the theory, the main aspect of the mindfulness in the basic of theory. And we have been doing some practice in class so we can experience how is it developed. So today we are just going to describe from the point of view of Ayurveda. I don't know if you ever heard about this word, Ayurveda. Even sounds for you? Maybe in the herbal shops? Nothing. Okay. Ayurveda means is the science of life accordingly to the ancient tradition in India. So it will be translated into the knowledge about life, how to live, for example. So this is the traditional medicine in India, and how the knowledge of the Vedas is applied for having welfare in life, healthy way of thinking, healthy way of living, and everything of this is applied in different ways. So according to Ayurveda, and this is what we are discussing today, there is an aspect which is very important. This is the psychosomatization. Did you ever heard about that? Okay, what could you say me about this? What is psychosomatization? What do you understand by this word? Just try.
Psychosomatic symptoms or illnesses.
Yeah, but go ahead. What is psychosomatic?
When you induce a physical condition.
I cannot hear you. Sorry, I'm just in the tip of the table.
When you induce a physical condition from a mental state.
Yeah. Someone else? Someone want to add something else? No. That's it. Okay, thank you so much. So, actually, according to Ayurveda, there is a complete relation between body and mind, physical body and mental body, we could say. How I think is completely translating how my body feels. And in fact, how my body feels is also going to be transmitted to how I think. For example, if I suffer of back pain, this is going to be translated in a negative way of thinking, for example, because I feel uncomfortable during the day. But my negative way of thinking, it could be also translate into my physical state, my physical condition. So we're going to talk today about this and how the Ayurveda is trying to do through this science, which is Kaya Mana Suruya Yoga Chikitsana, which is translated in psychosoma therapy, yoga therapy. So it's the way how the knowledge of yoga can help you to treat these psychosomatization symptoms. Today we don't have the topic translated into English. Of course, you will have it in a few days after we will give to Kata, and Kata will send to you. You will have it everything in PDF, so you can study properly there from your notes. So, can I go ahead? For example, physical pain because of psychosomatic reasons. It is, I will translate for you. From the point of view of the Kaya Manasaruya Chikitsa, the psychosomatization of the emotion could be the reason of high and uncomfortable chronic pains. It could be because of traumatological causes, and then it's given to you 3 possible reasons. Would I have to go slower so you can copy something, or it's clear for you? For example, in the case of physiological trauma, physiological reasons, I have, for example, I have an accident and then I suffer from my neck because of the car accident. I keep having this pain, so it's just something which is quite easier to understand. So I have this pain continuously, and then probably it has no solution, and then I have to go for doctors and some treatment is given to me like this. Emotional trauma. For example, it could be that's difficult trigger situation in which you don't feel, or which confront yourself. It makes you feel but how to say, let me find an example. For example, you don't know how to choose a good, you have to make a decision. It's a big decision in your life. And then the person have not very clear what are the criteria to take this decision. It can cause, for example, high headache. The person start to have chronic headache, and then he can develop this into he cannot sleep. He has start to develop a problem of and go to the doctor because he has a problem of insomnia, and this is in relation. The thing is that he has a very emotional trauma that in that moment created him a physiological symptom. Occupational, for example, is related with the job, or not with the job, with the activities we're doing during the day. We are not able to stop, and we are continuously involved in activity. So if we have this kind of continuous activity in our mind, and we don't have to us the enough emotional time to give us an space, for example, emotional times or affective time to have a relation with our family, with our friend, with our relatives, and we are just involved in activity, then, for example, this could be translated into too much tension in your back, for example, tension in your neck, and this is transmitted in how you perceive the life. For example, it said bad vital habits. The bad habits in life can create great pains that you have occasioned to your own body and to your own emotions. And this can be in relation to each other, and then it can give us more pain and can give you more harmful in the sense of a bad way of living, bad habit. This is the relation. If I have a bad way of living because I have bad habits, then I start to develop a bad way of thinking, and then my emotions are not going to be proper. So this is a chain of relation. So how I live, how is my daily habits, this is going to be translated in how I think, and then how I think is going to be translated in how are my emotions, how I perceive the life, how I translate everything that I experience it every day. There is two concepts which is important to understand. One thing is the pain in the body. The pain is for the body, and the suffering is for the mind. Would you understand the difference? So both things could be related to each other, and while the body can suffer, can have this pain because of physical reason, the mind have the same, but into his field will be in suffering, how he thinks and how we relate with everything. So what will be the solution? The best way to do it is we have to help to how to positivize everything. So we can start, you remember the previous change was mentioned, for wrong emotion from the point of view of having a bad habit, bad way of living. So we can start, we can have giving all, during the counseling, we can giving all these tools for the person to solve in all the change, in all the point of the change. For example, how we can positivize. Let's try to be more interactive, okay? Let's do it more practical. Today is more practical class. So let's think how it could be a person have a bad way of living and have then a bad way of thinking and then bad way of emotions. And then, for example, how will you help him or how will you help yourself to be more positive?
Someone who's always procrastinating, and it's a bad habit, so we just kind of have to fix it. And to give maybe a suggestion that he does one thing, small tasks, which take less than 2 minutes, and every time he does 2 minutes, such a short task is kind of killing this bad habit of procrastination.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this will reduce like stress. And
Give me one idea from you.
To do sports,
To do sports. Good. Why the sport can help us?
because it creates endorphin in our blood and we're going to be happier, and we can concentrate, we have a goal and we can concentrate on something, doing that
It's a
physical
challenge.
activity. Yeah, it's a challenge.
Good. Something else.
Responsibility, because
Excuse me, sorry, but I'm a little down from here.
my idea was responsibility, because otherwise you can blame everyone else for your problems, and this way you are the master of your life.
Yeah, but imagine that it could be that the person becomes very exigent, requests a lot from oneself. This is also a point of view that you have to balance on that kind of, it's good, but until one point. Everything is good until one point. For example, too much sport, becoming a kind of obsession, it can become also a problem. Something else?
Meditation.
Yeah, meditation is pretty good. Yeah, thank you. And
Get rid of toxicants. Get rid of toxicants.
mhm.
Caffeine, any other
Yeah,
substance
good.
of stress.
Because everything is written there in Spanish, so I don't know if you reach to understand something. Yes? For example, we have done here in class with our master, with our teacher,
Breath.
Breath.
techniques.
yeah, breath, food, how to eat. Today, the society is completely, I don't know, but most of the time and in different countries, people are more and more used to buy the food ready-made in the supermarket and different places. And people are starting to forget how to cook in home. For example, do you know how to cook? Yeah, you cook at home? Yeah? No, that's someone saying yeah, there, no. You can't. This is normal. People, because of the today way of living, they don't find the time to cook. But cook is not only an activity that which is good, it's releasing you, it's giving to you a kind of point of relax, it's creativity, and you can do something tasty. you like the taste, and then you can enjoy the fact of doing it itself. But obviously when you choose the ingredient and when you do it by yourself and you combine with a little bit of knowledge how to do it, then you are giving to you the ensure about what you are eating is healthy and is in a proper way, that what you need to eat. Obviously the culture of food, it should be enhanced a little bit because today is a little bit lost. But for example, having more, do you know how there is studies about how the different vegetable affect in a different way for different emotion, and how affect for example, if you have constipation, or if you have headache, or if you have a problem with blood circulation. Everything, all of this is a very rich science which can help us to, for example, design our diet, our menu. I don't know if you know that there are some treatment which is managing with the, I mean, the treatment is with the food, what you should eat and what you should not eat, and then the person starts to feel better. So for example, more salad is like drink more water. You should drink more water. It's something like is useful for everyone. Normally you can say it is better for you to eat more grains, it is better for you more green leaves, it's better for you in the night to remove these and do this other kind of food in soups, or maybe boiled vegetable, these kind of things. But for example, to drink more water is like the general medicine for everyone. And green leaves is most of the time is beneficial for everyone, for example, because we lack to eat it. So we can ensure that we are receiving the full oligo-elements that we need for our diet, for example. If you have a lack of this kind of vitamin, like for example, what are the causes, no, what are the symptoms if you have a lack of vitamin B12? How it's affecting psychologically?
Depression.
Yeah. Why? Where is affecting to? Where is affecting?
Stress, maybe.
Huh?
Stress, maybe.
Yeah, but
Okay.
this is the what you can observe like a doctor. But where is affecting to?
It's protein.
It is obtaining from protein, but where is affecting inside of how your metabolism is feeling this lack is in the central nervous system. There is a lack of communication, and because of the lack of this vitamin, and then how is translated is into excess of stress, lack of ability for response, and lack of vitality, for example. You can go for internet, Google, and search for it, because it's quite interesting how the lack of vitamin B12 can increase the feeling of lack of vitality, depression, and other things. And it also makes you more difficult the process of thinking even. So this kind of knowledge, sometimes if someone come to you and said to you, I feel with lack of energy, and I feel on that way, I feel depression, I feel myself I'm depressed, then we should pay attention about how the daily habit can be changed, so we can help to this person to go for from little things to bigger aims. So maybe let's see how you eat. For example, do you drink water? How you eat? Do you eat these things, these other things? So then another point you just mentioned, breathe. You remember the class with Mr. Javier? He was teaching us how to breathe. You experience here how was the practice, and then you remember how is the structure of the lung, and it's depending on how you breathe, this is going to be transmitted in your cells in how I think, how I perceive the life. Would you understand this from that class? You remember that class?